You're never going to believe this. Prices are going up again. This increase was announced by Microsoft earlier today, and it just kind of shows the ridiculousness currently of not just the gaming market, technology in general, because there's another company that also decided to announce a price increase and then just went ahead and did it like immediately. And this company, also a $1 trillion entity like Microsoft, but we're gonna go over that here today. So if you guys enjoy the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. So let's head over here. This is on Microsoft's website, news.xbox.com, saying effective August 1st, 2026, we will be updating prices worldwide. The price of Xbox consoles will increase by $100 for the 512 gigabyte models and $150 for the 1 terabyte models. And they're just going to discontinue. They say sunset the 2 terabyte model. And it kind of makes sense when we take a look at what the prices are set at now for the two models really that'll remain on the market. But after all of that, right? So they do talk about the overall price increase or the cost associated with. They mentioned just like memory, but it seems like it's really tied to the SSDs that they're using inside of the Xbox Series systems. That they're socketed SSDs. We've done a whole teardowns on this on the channel here, so I do wonder if that is a kind of a sticking point for them. But we know just in general, like GDDR6 or just like VRAM is definitely in demand alongside of any of the storage like solid state drives. So here, yeah, we're seeing they mention like 2.5 times, 3 times. We're hearing crazy multipliers for all these different DRAM related products, right? Which is, like all of them. So with that in mind, when you scroll down further, they start talking about, and this is how you know it's bad, like buy now, pay later, interest free financing. They even mentioned previously played consoles. That's where we are currently in the market. By the way, year 6 of the consoles here, with the Xbox Series, of course, being highlighted. But we've seen price increases for Sony. Nintendo will be increasing the price of the Switch 2 this September in the US. That's going to go up to $500 starting. So we're upside down right now in the gaming market. And you'll notice Microsoft didn't even bother to show they didn't do the math for us. They just said, oh, $100 more, $150 more. Over on Reddit, though, a person did post this that just kind of shows the comparison with the Xbox Series S 512 gigabyte model as the cheapest currently. That would be going up to $500. We are now, what was that, $200 more than what it originally released at price wise in 2020. Yes, we've gone up a significant amount of money for the baseline system that even then people were like, I don't know, is this system going to be strong enough to get through the generation? Well, it's certainly managed to be strong enough to appreciate in value hundreds of dollars. But the high end here is the Xbox Series X, the disc-based model, 1 terabyte, that is $800. So the 2 terabyte probably was borderline $1,000. And is there a point in selling the system then, or even just manufacturing it? No, because I don't think anyone in their right mind is going to spend $1,000 on an Xbox Series X, 2 terabyte or not. It makes no sense. It's basically impossible to recommend the Xbox Series at this point at this price. So, like, what hope does $1,000 2 terabyte Series X have in the market? Well, it's not just Microsoft today that announced a price increase. This one also, I think, I think did some damage in the market here because Apple announced sweeping price increases, and it's pretty significant. So the MacBook Neo, which made waves because it was pretty affordable. I say it was pretty affordable despite like 8 gigabytes of RAM, right? I think they did a good job at getting it down to a price point that made sense, especially for college students, right? It was a big push for them. It was even cheaper if you had like the student discount. But now the Mac Neo starts at $700. The 13-inch MacBook Air goes up $200 to $1,300 basically. The 15-inch MacBook Air is now at 1,500. The M5 MacBook Pro is 2,000. The M3 Ultra Mac Studio, that one is $5,300. It actually went up 1,300. So, in terms of percentages, it's like a 30% increase just about across the board here. And people are trying to figure out what effect will this have. Say, we see Microsoft raise prices on a system, and then a few months later, Sony will follow suit. So what I think will happen, I can't rule it, out the possibility that Sony will just go, you know what, the PlayStation 5 is now $100 more or something ahead of the holiday season. I can't rule that out, but I think they may do is just produce less and just say, you know what, we're gonna try to grit and bear it through this holiday season because GTA 6 is there, and like we should still sell a pretty significant number of third-party games then because of Rockstar and Take-Two. But I kind of feel like in 2027 they will have to reevaluate again just the way that these the price increase, the cost increase is happening right now with memory. And I don't know if we're going to see relief for definitely. I don't think at least through 2027. And when I see stuff like this is over on the register, says Micron locks in historically high memory prices for 5 years. So memory maker Micron has found a way to keep prices for its products sky high for another 5 years by signing 16 strategic customer agreements that include a floor price the company says comes with a very robust gross margin for Micron, well above our peak quarterly margins in any past cycle. So I will say for gaming, like Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo, talk about Valve, where these brand manufacturers would come to them and say, "This is the price. Okay, this is what we can offer. Take it or leave it." And that Valve basically was like, "Hey, if we say no, they just never come back because guess what? They have plenty of other customers to sell to." And when I see Micron brag that, "Oh yeah, we have 16 strategic customer agreements in place for significantly more in terms of margins than we've ever seen before, very robust gross margin." I mean, guys, 5 years from now, we're talking about midway through 2031. First off, who knows what the world will look like by then? But also, that means that, yeah, we're seeing kind of a baseline be established here just based on and you know what? I'm sure many of these customers probably working to build out AI data centers. It wouldn't shock me if one of them is actually Apple and they're like, "Look, we need to get this worked out because guess what? We're going to make an iPhone like every year. We're going to introduce iPads and like we need to have at least this stuff locked down, even at this higher price point for the next 5 years, because it could go higher than that, even, right? If they don't move now. So I think what we're going to see, especially this holiday season, I just want to put this out there for anyone who is thinking about getting a system for GTA 6. And I know the marketing is all about PS5. I mean, right now that would be the cheaper version. You can get the Series S. I at $500 right now compared to a PS5 digital that's 600. It kind of makes sense to go with the PS6 or the PS5. Sorry, PS5 digital. Kind of makes sense to go to the PS5. But I think what could happen this holiday season for people who wait until November, Sony may not be supplying enough PS5 systems, and we could actually see a situation where in year 6, the PS5 could be getting scalped heavily at the holiday season, and it be like triple the amount. At least, I would say at least twice the amount. And it wouldn't surprise me if we look on eBay in December and the PS5 is $1,500. Very similar to what happened with the pandemic situation where the supply chain was all messed up and they just couldn't get PS5 systems out there. And we saw that price point, like legitimately people were buying it there. But I think just the lack of supply from Sony because of the cost of these components to put the systems together, and then also the holiday surge, and then combined with all the hype and the interest in GTA 6 with the marketing being about the PS5, I honestly think right now is the time to buy a PS5 if you can get one at that again, it's crazy because it's more expensive by a fair amount than when it first came out, right? But at $600, that might be the cheapest you're going to see it for quite some time. So I'm just putting it out there. It might be worth making a move on it. All right. But this is something else right now. So going into the holidays for 2026, we're going to see the Xbox Series at an unfathomable I mean, $800 for the flagship system, the 1 terabyte X with a disk drive, and the PS5 hard to find probably, and then the Switch 2 at $500. So it's I said if Nintendo could stand still at 450, they would be the cheapest system. And it turns out even raising the price to 500, they are still the cheapest system alongside of the Series S at 500. But let me know what you guys think about this one down below in the comments. Are you surprised that the Series X had to apparently go up in price again? And what do you think is about to happen over the next year when it comes to the PlayStation 5? And who knows, maybe even the Switch too. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if Nintendo in 2027 was like, hey, we got to go up now to 550 and then the bundles will be 600. It's a wacky world, certainly one that's upside down from how I remember it back in the old days at this point, the 2010s. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.